Now, I don't know anything more frustrating than grabbing your fairway wood out, ripping it from the tee, and then you get to a fairway lie, which, okay, let's be honest, some of us rely on these clubs a lot to shoot lower scores, and then we just can't stop topping it. So frustrating, right? But don't worry, I've got a simple drill that you can try today, that Challenge Tour players use, European Tour players use, players who are new to the game, that will stop you topping this golf ball right away. We can all relate to that feeling, right? It just got to get out of our game. Now, before we get into the drill, what 3 wood, what 5 wood are you using, and what is your favourite fairway wood when you're not topping it? Let's add that in there. Right, all you're going to need for this drill is some T-pegs. Yes, just some T-pegs. Let's do it. The first thing we've got to do right now, and this is something that I say for everybody, is we've just got to understand what's happening in order to cause you to top the golf ball. So we've got to think, if we're topping the golf ball, we know the bottom of our arc of our golf swing is moving up. So our club head is traveling too much up too quickly. Now, the reason why you get away with it off the tee, because if you imagine right now, we're teeing our golf ball up ever so slightly, let's say this red one, and that just allows the golf ball just to sit just above the ground, so actually almost halfway between a driver swing and the ground swing, which is why we get away with it, because our club can still contact roughly near the centre of the ball. But when it's on the ground, we do not have any margin for error. So anytime that we move up on the golf ball too early, we are going to catch it topped, maybe even fat. Both are not enjoyable. Okay, so for the drill, I said all you're going to need is a T-peg. So all I want you to imagine we've got to do right here is grab our T-peg, and this is why it's so simple, is just place it just in front of the golf ball. Now, you might be wondering, well, Alex, I've got a wood in my hand, why do I want to feel like I'm going to hit through this T-peg here? Well, as I said before, we're moving up too quickly, so I want you to have that analogy of a slight descending, bruising hit through the golf ball. So, think of Sergio Garcia. He's the one that comes to mind for me. Watching him hit a 3-wood off the deck, oh my lord. Little bruising divot, nothing better. So we want to put this T-peg in the ground and just have that focus of now trying to contact that ground just ahead of the golf ball. This is really going to help us control that bottom of the arc. So if you looked at the screen now, you can see bottom of the arc before, almost going up too early, catching the top of the ball. Now using this T-peg, our bottom of the arc is going to stay a little bit flatter for longer, allowing you to hit, well, I don't want to say descending, but potentially a little bit on the down to help you get a little bit of ball and turf. This is the best way to optimize how you're hitting your fairway woods off the deck. I don't mind a little bit of upwardsness off the T-peg, but what I want you to feel is that we're going to make a little bit of a brushing of the ground after impacting the golf ball. We're then taking that strike from around the bottom groove all the way to the eye diddle middle. No pressure at all on that one, is it? It's simple, it's easy. So let's hit this one away and really get the benefits of this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on that brushing through the golf ball, and I wouldn't be scared of just taking some divots. Not divots in terms of like big slugs, but just that brushing of the ground, golf ball and ahead. Not just nothing happening on the ground. That's why that T-peg is such a good external focus. Right, here we go. Let's hit this one away. I'm looking for a little bit of a bruising after the ball. I would just try a slow version to begin with, get that feeling of hitting down on that golf ball, get that feeling of strike, and well, did you just hear that noise? That's exactly what we're after. So taking this to the golf course couldn't be any simpler. And what I was going to recommend right now is just rewind that 15 seconds back. and just have a look at what I was doing there on a slow version and what I have done with where I have contacted the ground, brushed through, up until the tee peg. So just drag it back 10-15 seconds and just have a simple quick look at what I was meaning from contact to the ball to where the tee peg is. It couldn't be any simpler. Now you've done that, let's crack on with the rest of this video on how you're going to take this to the golf course right away, because obviously we can't just put a tee peg in the ground, but luckily enough for you, it's winter. Taking it to the golf course couldn't be any simpler. Now, depending on where you play your golf in the winter, the ground tends not to be perfect. Well, anyway, even in the summer, the ground tends not to be perfect. There's always some impressions, there's always a dimple, there's always a mark on the ground. Now, the advantage of winter and autumn is that there are leaves. Now, you can't move the leaf to put it on the ground, but if there was one there, or there was a mark, I want you to use that to replace your tee peg. This is a great way of getting some feedback going, actually, right, okay, well, all I've got to do is a little bit of the same. A little bit of the same. Now, you'll notice when I'm doing these practice swings, I am not standing up at all. I really feel like I'm rotating through to target, because that is one of the biggest things to help you keep that arc ahead of the ball slightly. So really feeling, just replacing that tee peg with a bit of an impression on the ground. What simpler way to take it to the golf course? Well, I don't think there is any. Okay, let's hit this one away. Thanks for watching, I hope it helps, and if it did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button.